friends, and welcome back to our art studio at the Maine Discovery Museum. This is Miss Trudy with another episode of Toilet Paper Tube TV. And last time, in our last episode, we made friends with our different kinds of toilet paper tubes, and we got to know the different strengths and sizes. And I hope you had some time to find some toilet paper tubes in your house and de-germify them the way we talked about. And today I want to show you and talk a little bit about the tools and supplies you need to turn these tubes into cool craft and science projects. Because there's a lot of really cool STEM, science, technology, engineering, and even math projects you can do with toilet paper tubes. So some of the tools and supplies you need, you probably have in your house. You might have to raid your parents' home office, maybe even the garage a little bit. So with a grown-up, go on a scavenger hunt and see what you can find. And there's some things that if you don't have, I can show you how you can make them. When you work with toilet paper tubes like these, first thing you need to think about is how are you going to cut them. Some are much easier to cut than others. If you grab the squishy kind, the kind that's sort of, pretty, the cardboard is pretty soft and not very thick, that can be cut with regular school and craft little kid scissors. Talk to your parents and decide together which scissors you can use by yourself safely or where you need help. Because I don't know how good you are at cutting stuff. You could be an expert cutter and don't need any help, or you could still learning how to use scissors and I don't know that, so talk to your grown-up. So the soft squishy cardboard tubes like these, they can be very easily cut with little scissors. You don't need a lot of pressure. Snip, snip, snip. If you're new to using scissors, trust me on that one. Cut with the tip, not with the back of the scissors. This is a lot harder and your scissors have a lot less snippy strength in the back. Cut with the tip right here. Like this part is the snippiest part of the scissors, pretty much, okay? If you have the stronger toilet paper tubes or the big Mama Jama toilet paper tubes, of course that is a job for a grown-up with some serious grown-up scissors. We call these danger scissors at the museum so that the teachers know not to give them to the kids. So these are the danger scissors. And these are the safe little kid scissors. And they won't do anything. I mean, that takes too much work and too much strength. So if you have the big tubes or the stronger tubes, you're going to need some grown-up scissors. Some even need a saw. And that's where your grown-ups come in. The other thing you need to think about is how to make holes into toilet paper tubes. Because there's a lot of projects where you need little holes in different places. And for that, you're going to need a regular old hole punch if you have it, like this. And they come in different sizes and with different little stamping thingies, whatever they're called, to make different size holes. And if you don't have a hole punch, you can make holes in other ways. So let me show you a way to safely make a hole into a cardboard tube without jamming yourself in the finger or in your eyeball. Ready? So this is a safety issue, but watch carefully. If you need to make a hole into a soft squishy toilet paper tube like these, do not take any sharp tool and just jab at it like crazy. You squish the toilet paper tube flat, take your little kid scissors, and you cut a little itty bitty triangle. Ta-da! Hole. Did you see that? Want me to do it one more time? Squish the roll flat, just on one side. Then you do flatten it like a pancake. You take your little kid scissors and you cut a little triangle out of it and you have a hole. There you go. You didn't need to poke it. So that's how you make a hole into a cardboard tube, toilet paper tube, if you don't have a hole punch. You also need to attach things to the tube and the tubes to each other. Now there's different kinds of glue that people have in their house, usually. You might have this school glue, which is pretty useless. That's almost, you might as well lick your tube. Don't lick the tube, but this is pretty useless. This is good for sticking stuff to the tube. Paper, feathers, decorations. If you need to stick stuff to the tube, you can use little kid glue. But if you need to attach the tubes to each other, or to other pieces of cardboard, this is not going to do it. You're going to need some other kinds of glue. So you're going to need either tacky glue, which is great, This is sufficient to stick these tubes together or stick them to other pieces of cardboard, but it requires some drying time, so you need to be patient and wait till this glue has set. A quick way to attach these tubes to each other and cardboard is to use a glue gun, and these come in two different kinds. They come in hot temperature, not for children, okay? Do not use hot temperature glue guns with or around children unless you're a teacher and you're sort of like a glue gun ninja, because the tip gets really, really hot and the glue is hotter than melting wax. So the glue is hot enough to cause a blister. So do not use hot glue guns, hot temperature glue guns with or around children unless you really know what you're doing, and that happens in your house all the time. Okay? But they come also in low temperature, and those are pretty safe. So if you have older children and you're confident and you've talked this through and you're still sort of there to keep an eye on it, an older child can use a low temperature hot glue gun. If you don't have hot glue guns, that's okay, you can use tape. And most households have some kind of duct tape around and some kind of masking tape, and both kinds are sufficient for most of our projects. And again, I'm going to show you a little bit of a hack on how to make sure your stuff sticks together by just using regular household tape. The other way to attach these tubes to each other is to use staplers. And if you have a stapler in your house, there's ways to attach them, and to cardboard. And rubber bands are another good way to attach these things together. And in a pinch, you can use string. And of course, brads. Brads are awesome. You should all have a bucket of brads in your house at all times, because they are really fun for any kind of craft project that has movable parts. And they come from teeny tiny baby brads to big sort of office type brads. And what they are really, they're not all that fancy. They're basically a fastener. They're designed to attach stuff. So they have two little arms. So you stick them through an opening between two different kinds of material, and then you spread out their little arms like this, and they kind of hold everything together. So if you don't have them, you can actually make yourself some brads. I'm going to show you in our next episode of Toilet Paper Tube TV how to make your own brad.